Hey, my friend. Welcome back to the Cosmic Mystic podcast, where we blend strategy and soul work to help you build a soul aligned life and business that fully supports your soul's mission. In this video, we are going to talk about the Sidereal Astrology transits, what's happening in our sky in Sidereal Astrology this week, May 19th through the 25th, as we prepare for our new moon in Taurus. If you are new here, hello, my friend, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. If you are returning, hi, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. If you are new, though, we have not met. I am Danie C, Muniz, your inner work alchemist, cosmic mystic, grounded space holder, and creator of the Sacred CEO framework designed to help you stay grounded, aligned, and abundant as you expand your impact. For over 12 years, I've supported hundreds of conscious leaders in doing the deeper soul work, the work that is required to embody the highest expression, so that you can lead with confidence and authenticity. Each video here on the channel or on the podcast is designed to help you work with the energetic currents that are around and within you, so that you can align to your sacred rhythm and step boldly, my friend, boldly into your purpose and create from a place of deep alignment. So let's dive in. As I mentioned, there is a podcast YouTube channel. So if you are catching this on YouTube, hello. There is a channel called The Cosmic Mystic, and there's also a podcast called The Cosmic Mystic Podcast. So you can get these forecasts for whichever way you feel best. So whether you want to take me in your earbuds along your walk while you're doing work around the house, on your drive, like I like to do, or whether you're sitting down and want to watch this video with your journal, my friend, this is for you. So you can find links to either one down in either the description box or the show notes. So let's do my favorite thing that I like to do to begin each of these forecasts with, and that is our state of the planets. Where is everybody? Where's everybody hanging out this week? And what are we up to? So, first off, as I mentioned, we are preparing for new moon. So you will see our moon is right over here. Along this week, you'll see it start to move this way. And then on Monday, it will connect with the sun right here. So our sun is at 4 degrees Taurus. Remember, this is sidereal astrology, which is slightly different than what you'll probably hear more commonly, which is tropical astrology. Sidereal astrology bases the positioning on what is actually up in our sky, where tropical astrology, which is what we commonly hear, is based on the seasons. So again, neither one is right or wrong. It's just what you choose that works best for you. I think sidereal astrology fits way better with what I believe and what I know about myself. So I choose sidereal. So sidereal Taurus here, we're at 4 degrees. We kicked off Taurus season last week. If you are looking for more about Taurus energy, if you want to look at what you can work with during the season, there's two things I would recommend. Number one is I would recommend our May overview, where I talk about May in general, all of the transits that are happening. And in there, I do talk about the sun transits from Aries into Taurus. And then number two is a podcast episode I did just on Taurus energy. So you can hear about the Taurus zodiac sign and 4 patterns or red flags that you can look into in your journey of self-mastery this season. Excuse me. All right. So let's get back to our state of the planets. We've got a conjunction here, which we've had for a bit now with Uranus, the sun and Uranus. We've also got Mercury, who we will be with conjunct later this week, is currently in Aries, Mercury will be moving into Taurus very shortly. We'll talk about that today. We've got Chiron over here in Aries, Venus here in Pisces. We've got Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. These two planets will be there for quite a while. Our North Node is also in Pisces at this time at 0 degrees. The moon, as I mentioned, is in Capricorn as we kick off this week. So, really grounded, focused energy, which I love. We've got Pluto here in Capricorn. We've got our south node over here in Virgo, Mars in Cancer, still hanging out in Cancer for a bit longer. And we've got Jupiter, who just moved into Gemini just a bit ago. So we've got lots of really beautiful energy this starting off this week. So let's talk about a couple of transits with our sun. First off, our sun has had the trine over to Pluto since yesterday, since the 18th. And it will be with this connection until the 30th of May, one of the best days of the entire year, my friend, aka Danie's birthday. It is the energy of intense, deep experiences. This is where whatever we are conscious of or interested that maybe right now my friend, you might find yourself going down the rabbit hole, diving into something because it's like really wants to go deep into something. That is the energy of Pluto. It loves to go deep into things. So a couple of things with this, right? We can use this to really go in and uncover or uproot maybe something that is keeping us stuck, like a limiting belief or a pattern that we might be stuck in. It can also be an opportunity for us to dive into a topic that we are really interested in, right? Something that you've been wanting to learn more about. Maybe that's astrology. Maybe there's an esoteric topic that you've been wanting to dive into, or something that I'm diving into right now, which is making my own body like bar soaps. I'm getting into that right now. So that is where my energy is diving into. A lot of DIYs, making my own stuff, which I love. And then it could also be on the flip side of this. Maybe there is something that is not serving you. Maybe there is something that's happened that you are just digging your energy into, and you just want to dive into that and not shake it, my friend. This can also be part of that too. So just be mindful of your own energy. I'm not saying that you need to be happy and excited and joyful all the time, because that's just not reality, right? There are harder days. There are times where we need to move through things, and that is absolutely okay. So if this is a very deep, intense experience for you that is not necessarily on the positive side, I want to remind you that this is a phase, just like the moon transits through all of these different zodiac signs every single month. It moves through different viewpoints, all different times during the month, my friend. You as well are going through a phase, and this too shall pass. All right, next, we have our sun and Mercury. So it's almost as if I have to tell you this one before I tell you the next one, which is on the 23rd. You're going to see Mercury move into Taurus. Now, when Mercury moves into Taurus, anything with Taurus is going to be a slowing down. Now, because Mercury rules over our communication, it rules over our thinking, short travel, our neighborhood, our siblings, we're going to see it prominently in our communication, which tends to lean these days, right, towards technology. Technology and communication, they go hand in hand. So you're going to see a lot with communication as well as technology over this shift here with Mercury in Taurus, which it's only going to be here for a couple of weeks, my friend, because we move through things very fast with Mercury. So we're going to see this till about the 5th of June. Now, Mercury in Taurus is a grounded energy. So our communication is going to become more grounded. It's going to become more practical, more patient. It's almost as if we're just slowing things down. So our ideas are more likely to, like, you know how in Aries, we get a lot of ideas and they're quick and they're fast. And it's like, oh, I have all these ideas, right? So you might have like brainstormed a crap ton of ideas over Aries, and not all of our ideas, and I mentioned this in one of our videos, not all of our ideas are meant to be implemented right away. Some of them we're given, whether we've channeled them, right? Whether we've received them from spirit, God, divine, source, creation, and they're meant for us to sit with. Now, Taurus is that opportunity to then develop the ones that are ready to take the next step. So sometimes we have this great idea and we think we have to act on it. And that is not necessarily the case. There are some that it's like, okay, I've got the idea and now I just need to sit with it and let it percolate, right? Let it come out, let it really develop and see what it is that's really here. Because sometimes we can jump the gun and do something. Danie's definitely somebody that does that. Well, I'll jump the gun and I'll do something too early where I haven't really sat and developed it out. Taurus is inviting us to slow down and develop that idea out so that it is grounded, it is practical, right? That we know this is something that's going to go more long term. Taurus is definitely an energy that is going to withstand, right, the long term. All right, let's get back in. We've got, now that I've mentioned or I've talked about this idea of Mercury being in Taurus, I want to talk about its conjunction with the sun. So let's talk about when that happens on the 25th, I think it is. Let me make sure I can check my notes here. It is the 25th. So go over here to the 25th and we'll see it start to get into position. So you'll see here that Mercury will also be conjunct Uranus. So any of the outside of the box thinking, the things where you need a new perspective on, where, you know, we get stuck in the same ideas, same thoughts, and you're like, I can't break this. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to do this. I've tried all the things. It's a very common thing. I know I say, I know I hear my clients say, well, like, I've tried all the things. I've done that, Danie. Right? Okay, great. This period right here with this conjunction with Uranus will be pretty much from the 22nd through the 27th. So just into next week, we're going to see lots of new ideas. So I'm going to invite you, if there is something that like, I can't figure this out, I am stuck on this thing, my friend, I am going to invite you to ask, what else am I not seeing about this? What other ways can I look at this? These questions allow for our mind, for our guides, for the universe to bring us something new. If you want something new, you've got to ask for it, my friend. And so we work with these energies to help us. Ask your subconscious mind, how else can I see this? What is a different perspective I can take on this or I can see about this? What is a strategy that I am not thinking of right now? Oh my goodness, my friend, questions are so important. Okay, so not only are we going to get that outside of the box thinking with Uranus, but we're also going to have the opportunity for very focused thinking. Because we're talking about Taurus, because we're talking about the sun with Mercury, the energy is so focused in right here. We're going to be able, my friend, to really get things done when we focus our energy. A lot of the times, our energy is so scattered. It is all over the place. And with this particular aspect, we can really focus it in on something. So I'm going to challenge you. I challenge the Sacred CEO members all the time to focus on one thing. Nobody likes to focus on one thing. Everybody wants to focus on 2, 3, 4, 5 different things. And I Get it. I have a lot of pans on the fire. I get it. I can tell you though, when I am my most productive is when I have one focus. One focus. That's the one thing for this week that I am going to get done. Does it mean that I'm only doing this one thing? No, but my energy and attention is focused on this one thing. That would be what I would recommend. And this particular aspect can definitely help you with that. All right. The other thing is a lot of adaptability and curiosity with this particular transit because Mercury is a very curious and very adaptable. So anything that, ask yourself those curious questions. The what ifs. I say this all the time. I think he was 3 years old. He was in the back seat, my nephew, and he would not stop saying, Thea, what does this mean? What about this? What is this? What if this? And what about this? He just asked that what question a million different ways because he was so curious. So I'm going to invite you, my friend, to step into the 3-year-old you and be curious. Be curious about things. Be curious about your problem. Be curious about a challenge. Be curious about something that you're stuck in. How are all the ways that this could potentially happen? It's one of the prompts that I use for myself when I'm trying to reframe an idea is I'm curious about how this is going to work out for me. I'm curious about what is possible with this. There's this curiosity, my friend, that just really shifts the game for you. All right. Next on our list of things will be that new moon that we're approaching here on the 26th. We're going to see this conjunction along with Taurus, and this is going to happen late in the day. We're going to see the conjunction here. So if we look at this new moon, we've got the conjunction with Mercury and the Sun. We've got this sextile conjunction over here with Saturn and Neptune, and we've got the trine over here to Pluto. So some of the themes or the theme that we are really seeing here is a blend of stability and depth, right? With that Taurus energy and that Pluto energy, with really a really beautiful, unique, practical, foundational, security type energy with this new moon. So I would say looking at your relationship with money, with abundance, with value is probably top of what I would say with this new moon. You can also look at things like decision making. Are you making decisions from wounds? I think we don't talk about this enough, and it's something that I am very passionate about. A lot of the times we are making decisions based on wounds, based on our filters that are based from our wounds, that are based from our traumas, that are based from our past. And so that's one of the things that if you want to get better at decision making, my friend, that's where we want to head to. We want to look at what is it rooted in? What experience, right, is that rooted in? As I mentioned earlier, if there is something that you're stuck in and you're looking for a new perspective, this would also be a really good cycle to look at that. We've got releasing and identifying patterns always. That's always something that we can look at because we've got that Pluto. We can really help get in and under to that root. Communication, you can look at how we are how our communication is showing up for us, whether we are expressing our vision, where we are being clear in our communication, where we are being conscious in our communication. My friend, there's a lot of times where I listen to people and they are coming from a place of triggeredness. They are coming from a place of ungroundedness. And Taurus is inviting us to slow it down, to think before we speak. As hard as that can be sometimes, because my Mercury is in Mars and I want to come out really fast. I understand that I know that about myself, right? So I'm not using that as, well, my Mercury's in Aries, so y'all better deal with it, right? No, I'm like, okay, I understand that that is my go-to. And I know that in order for me to be my greatest and highest self, I've got to pause and I've got to take a beat before I speak, before I act. I've got to take that pause to make sure that I'm coming from a conscious awareness place and not just a positive psychology place or not a trigger wounding place, but really from a nice grounded place. Sometimes people ask me for my opinion on things, friends, clients, and I'm always at the beat of like, let me get my thoughts really clear before I just sputter out what I really want to say, and just let me get those words together first so that I can then respond. And for me, that's been really helpful to just get everything clear about how I feel about something, about what in relation that is to before, right? And that's what I would and maybe invite you to look at. How are you? What is your natural way of expressing your opinions and thoughts about something? And is that harming you? Is that hurting you in some ways? Or is this really good? Is this really positive and something that you're really proud of? And take a look at that. All right, let's look. Let's keep on digging. We're gonna go with our next transit as I share my screen here for you. There we go. We are going to look at some of the other things that is happening with the Mercury. So we talked about the Mercury conjunction with Uranus moving into Taurus. Let's talk about a couple of other ones that we're going to see. Number one, I talked about this earlier, but the sextile over here to Saturn and Neptune. So I talked about it with our moon and our new moon in Taurus, but let's talk about it because this is going to be for this week into next week. Let's be clear here. The 23rd and the 24th, all the way through the 28th, we're going to see the sextile to all of these here, right? Especially Mercury we're talking about now, but it is because of the way that these are all lined up right now, it is making the sextile over to these. So Mercury and Saturn is great for clear thinking, great for good judgment, great for organization, organizing things that are top priority. Definitely a good time for this. And being in that Taurus energy right now, even better. Investing, thinking about long-term investments, talking about long-term investments, real estate. This is all really good energy for that. Long range plans, things that you want to do into the future. Really good time to look at that and to think about that. The other thing with Neptune, let's get into Neptune now. This is creativity. Neptune is one of the most creative planets. It's also very intuitive, very spiritual. So anything around creativity, spirituality, dream world is very big here. I would also pay attention to the dreams that are coming through during this period, as these two tend to really bring forth a lot of interesting dreams that are messages, right? Things that are here to be delivered to us. Meditations are really good. Working with your spirit guides, those are always a good time. But this is information that can really come through during this period. So pay attention the 24th through the 28th. Pay attention to those dreams. Pay attention to those hints, pay attention to those messages that you're receiving. And I'm going to caveat it right here. When I talk about messages, I am not just talking about the messages you receive in a meditation, that you receive in an unconscious journaling. Those are my two tops. However, you are always receiving messages, my friend. The car that pulls in front of you on the road and has a bumper sticker that says something that is probably a message. That person walking by you in the store that has something on their shirt, probably a message. Something that the cashier says to you at checkout could potentially be a message for you. Pay attention, be conscious of your interactions, be mindful of what is happening, of if you've asked for something, open up that lens so that you can receive it all, because the answers are always around you. They are within you and they are around you. So pay attention. I don't know how many times I can say this, but pay attention, my friend. Pay attention. Okay. That's going to be my word for the day. Pay attention. Okay. Next, let's move on to Venus because we do have Venus with a conjunction to Chiron. And so I do want to talk about this because Venus and Chiron, it is making a trine over here to Mars too, which it's been for a bit. And this is more of an action oriented total aspect. But let's talk about Venus in Chiron because this is an opportunity to heal around relationships, our self-worth, and our values, how we value ourselves and what it is that we value. So healing through relationships, financial healing, I would also say would be something that would be really good during this time. I would also look at, so some of the relationships that are resurfacing or wounds that are surfacing around maybe past relationships can definitely come into play here. So if you've been struggling with maybe, or you might have moved on. It's going to be either one here. Maybe there's been some relationship wounds that have happened because I know there's been a lot of endings so far this year. And maybe that was one of them. If that's the case, then this is an opportunity for you to be aware that there could be some things that are resurfacing for you, not to trigger you, although they could, not to bring you into this shame and not to bring you into this guilt, not to bring you into this frustration, but for you to notice where you are still connected to this energy. So when relationships end, and I'm talking about not just your intimate relationship, like a partner, a spouse, I am talking about all relationships. So even friendships, maybe that you have had in the past that either ended, whether it was your decision or not, we are still connected to that energy. I can block the person on social media all I want. I can block their text messages all I want, but there is still a energetic connection that I can have to somebody. And so when things like this come into play, when we have these opportunities, let's say with healing, with Venus, with Chiron, we can use this to say, okay, I am feel like I'm getting frustrated. What am I still connected to with this relationship? Where am I still not allowing myself to heal? And this is the first step, right, in healing is the awareness. The second step is to receive the understanding of why is this still bothering me? What is it that I need? What is it that I haven't resolved within myself, my friend? Because sometimes in these relationships, we are not going to get to hear the other person's side or the other person's perspective. And so as much as I would love to be able to get that person's insight as to why they're not talking to me anymore, I would love to hear that. However, I also understand that I cannot control another person. And if they need to do it for their own mental health, for their own reasons, for their own lack of whatever, then that be it, so be it. But I know that I can only take care of myself and that I can only work on what is within myself. So what is coming up for me? What am I still needing to resolve, right? And then where do I need to forgive myself? What parts of me are still asking for forgiveness or looking for forgiveness, whether that is from another person or whether that is from myself? One of the things I always invite my clients to do is to write a letter. Write a letter as if you were going to send it to someone. And you don't necessarily need to send it to someone half the time. I would say 90% of the time, I have never sent the letter. Most of the time, it's in either my journal or it is got erased, dismissed, trashed, burned, whatever. It is, but getting it all out, bringing it out of you is so big. Getting your thoughts around why this is truly still frustrating me is huge. So that would be my recommendation for you during this time. Now, some other things that could be coming up with this is around value. So if you have not done a values elicitation, meaning elicited what your values are, brought forward what your values are. And I'm not talking about picking words from a list. I do not believe in that as a strategy to elicit your values, because there's so much in play right there, my friend, because we could be picking words that we think we should value or things that we think we should be doing. But my friend, when we do a true elicitation, it really brings forward what you actually do value, what you actually are believing, what you actually are living from. And so, if you want to dive into this, which I would highly recommend, I am going to be doing a core values workshop on, I think it's June 10th and 11th. You can learn more about that. I'll be talking more about that, but there is either a link down below in the description box or it's coming soon, where you can register for this class. I'm so excited to bring this. I've been wanting to do a values workshop for years. Values is something I do every single year inside my annual retreat. And it is something that has really changed the game, because one of the things that can also come up during this time is value conflicts, which are internal conflicts that you might be having, which is why you're not able to maybe live or pursue something in your life, because there is an internal conflict. So, that's what I'm going to say about Venus and Chiron and this conjunction. My friend, I hope you have learned some things about yourself, some opportunities for you to grow. I hope there's a takeaway. That is always my intention. Let me know what your takeaway, what step you are going to take this week down below in the comments. And I've got a couple of opportunities, as I said, this next season, as we're in Taurus season, for you to dive deeper even more. Number one, with that values workshop, I don't have a cute, fancy, fun name for it. It is just the core values workshop right now, happening on June 10th and 11th. And then I also have our Rooted in Abundance, our Taurus New Moon temple, happening on May 26th on the new moon, where we are, oh man, my friend, if you are feeling stuck in your abundance, if you're feeling stuck in your relationship with money, or blocks around receiving and are ready, and you're like, you're done and you're ready to release them, then this Rooted in Abundance Taurus New Moon Temple is for you. This is a sacred healing circle where we are going to transform your relationship with abundance. I'm super, super excited to hold this container for you. As I said, my friend, I am a very grounded space holder. Our containers are healing temples, and they do allow for deep soul reflection, for you to uncover your hidden patterns, the things that you cannot see. We are going to do some somatic healing breath work to release, because my friend, these somatic healing breath works are within the Akashic records. So there is an energetic frequency to them when we do them. It's not just your regular breath work. We're doing some more stuff in here. There will also be some powerful candle magic as we set a new anchor with our abundance and our future abundance that is coming in. This is a space that feels like coming home to yourself. That is truly what I'm hoping to hold for you. If you are ready to land, to reconnect, and to remember who you truly are, then come join us on Monday, May 26th. It's on Zoom. You can find a link down below to sign up. I would love for you to come join us. All right, my friend, I will see you next time, hopefully in ceremony real soon. But until then, remember to keep shining your unique light.